Retirement. The word itself probably conjures up images of sunny days, endless hobbies, no more alarm clocks, and finally, doing whatever you fancy whenever you fancy. And you know what? You've absolutely earned it. Every single moment of that blissful freedom. You've put in the hard yards, climbed the ladder, or maybe you've run your own show, navigated the choppy waters of business, raised a family. Whatever your journey, you've arrived. But here's a little something we don't often talk about, a whisper in the otherwise joyful chorus of retirement planning. Sometimes the very things we look forward to, or the new patterns we fall into, can, if we're not careful, start to nibble away at our well-being. Not in a dramatic, overnight kind of way, but slowly, almost sneakily, like a dripping tap you don't notice until the floor's a bit damp. We're talking about habits, those little routines and ways of doing things that can either be our best mates or, well, a bit of a menace to our health. I'm not here to be a doom-monger, absolutely not. The goal is for your retirement to be everything you've dreamed of, and more vibrant, energetic, full of life and laughter. But to make that happen, we need to be a tad mindful, a bit savvy about some of the subtle traps that can catch us unawares. Think of this as a friendly nudge, a conversation between mates, about how to sidestep a few common pitfalls so you can truly make the most of these golden years. We're going to explore 5 of these habits, not to scare you, but to empower you. Because knowing is half the battle, isn't it? And once you see them, you can steer clear with a knowing wink. The Siren song of the sofa. When comfort becomes a cage. Right, let's start with perhaps the most tempting one of all. After years, decades even, of dashing about, of being on your feet, of commuting and deadlines, the allure of that comfy sofa, that favorite armchair, is incredibly strong. And why shouldn't it be? You deserve to put your feet up. You deserve to relax, to unwind, to finally read all those books you've been meaning to, or catch up on all the telly you've missed. There's absolutely nothing wrong with enjoying your well-earned rest. But here's the rub. What starts as a delicious indulgence, a bit of blissful inertia, can gradually, almost without you noticing, become the norm. The just for a bit can morph into most of the day. That morning cuppa on the sofa stretches into mid-morning, maybe even lunchtime. The afternoon telly session becomes a prelude to the evening telly session. Before you know it, you're spending a significant chunk of your day sitting down. Our bodies, you see, are marvelous things designed for movement. They thrive on it. When we were working, even a desk job often involved a bit of a walk to the station, or popping out for lunch, or pacing while on a phone call. There was an inherent, almost accidental level of activity built into the day. Take that away, and without a conscious effort to replace it, activity levels can plummet. And it's not just about piling on the pounds, though that can certainly happen. It's about what happens inside. Muscles that aren't used begin to weaken. Joints can stiffen. Your balance might not be quite as sharp as it once was. That get up and go you used to have can start to feel a bit more like get up and groan. Simple things like climbing the stairs or carrying the shopping can start to feel a bit more challenging. It's a subtle creep, this one. You don't wake up one day unable to move. It's more that you find yourself choosing the lift over the stairs more often, or driving to the local shop instead of walking. You might feel a bit more breathless after a short burst of activity. These are the little whispers from your body, telling you it needs a bit more oomph. And it's often paired with another comfort food. With more time on your hands, and perhaps fewer structured meal times, it's easy to graze. A biscuit here, a slice of cake there. Maybe you're baking more, which is lovely, but it also means there are more tempting treats around. Or perhaps, without the routine of a work lunch, you find yourself reaching for quick, easy options that aren't always the most nutritious. Again, nothing wrong with a treat, but when treats become a staple and when that's combined with less movement, it's a recipe for feeling sluggish, for your energy levels to dip, and for your overall health to take a bit of a knock. The key here isn't to suddenly transform into a marathon runner or a gym fanatic overnight, unless that's your cup of tea, of course. It's about finding enjoyable ways to weave movement back into your day. It's about being mindful of that sofa siren call and making a conscious choice to get up and about. Think about a gentle stroll in the park, perhaps meeting a friend for a walk instead of just a coffee. Gardening is brilliant. All that bending and stretching is fantastic exercise, and you get beautiful flowers or tasty veg as a reward. Maybe there's a local walking group you could join, or a Tai Chi class in the community center. Even just pottering around the house, doing a bit of light housework, or dancing to your favorite tunes in the living room counts. The aim is to break up those long periods of sitting. Set a little reminder on your phone if it helps, to get up and stretch every hour. Walk to the shops if they're not too far. Take the stairs when you can. It's about small, sustainable changes that add up to a big difference in how you feel, both physically and mentally. Because when your body feels good, your mind tends to follow suit. You'll have more energy, sleep better, and feel more capable and independent. It's about keeping that spring in your step, quite literally. Don't let comfort become a cage. Let it be a well-deserved reward after a day filled with a bit more joyful movement. The echo chamber of solitude, when peace and quiet becomes isolation. Another thing many of us really look forward to in retirement is a bit more peace and quiet. The hustle and bustle of a busy workplace, the constant demands on your time and attention, it can be exhausting. So, the thought of quiet mornings, of having your own space, of not having to engage in endless small talk by the water cooler, can seem like pure bliss. And for many, it is. A chance to recharge, to reflect, to simply be. However, there's a fine line between enjoying solitude and slipping into isolation. When you're working, you're part of a team, you have colleagues, you have daily interactions, even if they're sometimes a bit mundane. There's a built-in social structure. You might not have been best mates with everyone you worked with, but there was a sense of connection, of shared purpose, of simply being around other people. When that structure disappears, it can leave a bit of a void. And if you're naturally more introverted, or if circumstances mean you live alone, or if friends and family are busy with their own lives, it's surprisingly easy for those quiet days to become too quiet. For the phone to ring less often. For the opportunities for casual chats and shared laughter to dwindle. This isn't about needing to be a social butterfly, flitting from one engagement to another. It's about the fundamental human need for connection. We are, at our core, social creatures. We thrive on interaction, on feeling understood, on sharing experiences. When that connection is lacking, it can have a profound impact on our mental and even physical health. Loneliness isn't just a feeling of sadness. It can genuinely affect your well-being. It can lead to feelings of low mood, anxiety, and a lack of motivation. It can make small problems feel overwhelming. It can even impact your physical health. Believe it or not, some studies have linked chronic loneliness to a higher risk of certain health issues. It's like a plant that doesn't get enough sunlight. It might survive, but it won't truly flourish. The tricky thing about this particular habit, the habit of withdrawing or becoming too comfortable in your own company, is that it can be self-perpetuating. The less you go out, the less confident you might feel about going out. The fewer people you see, the more effort it can feel to make new connections or maintain old ones. You might start to think, oh, they won't want to hear from me, or I don't want to be a bother. But here's the thing, people do want to hear from you. Your friends, your family, even casual acquaintances, they value your company, your wisdom, your humor. It's about taking that first step, even if it feels a little daunting. Think about the connections you already have. Could you make a point of calling a friend for a chat once a week? Or arranging a regular coffee morning with a group of former colleagues or neighbors? Are there family members you could visit or invite over? And then think about new connections. Retirement is a fantastic opportunity to explore new interests, and those interests are often a brilliant way to meet like-minded people. Always fancied learning a new language? Join a class. Love reading? See if there's a local book club. Passionate about a particular cause? Volunteer. Community groups, hobby clubs, sports teams for older adults. The opportunities are out there. It's about finding something that sparks your interest and then being brave enough to step through the door. Even small interactions can make a difference. A friendly chat with the person at the checkout in the supermarket, a nod to a neighbor, a conversation with someone at the bus stop. These little moments of connection weave a tapestry of social interaction that can brighten your day and remind you that you're part of a wider community. Don't let the peace and quiet of retirement turn into an echo chamber of solitude. Actively seek out connection. Nurture your existing relationships and be open to forming new ones. Share your time, your stories, your laughter. Because connection is the warmth that keeps our spirits bright, and it's absolutely vital for a healthy, happy retirement. It's not about filling every moment with social activity, but about ensuring you have those meaningful interactions that remind you you're valued, you belong, and you're not alone. The what now? Quandary, drifting without a rudder. For so many years, your life probably had a pretty clear structure. Wake up, get ready for work, commute, do your job, come home, evening routine, bed. Weekends might have been different, but the weekdays had a rhythm, a purpose, a set of responsibilities and goals, even if those goals were set by someone else. Your work gave you a sense of identity, a reason to get up in the morning, a feeling of contributing. Then retirement day arrives. That structure, that built-in purpose, vanishes. Poof, gone. And while the initial feeling might be one of immense relief and freedom, no more Monday morning dread. After a while, a new feeling can start to creep in for some, a sense of drift, a feeling of, well, what now? Without the framework of work, days can start to feel a bit shapeless. One day can blend into the next. That initial burst of energy to tackle all those projects you'd put off might fade, leaving you wondering what to do with all this newfound time. It's like being on a boat without a rudder. You're free, yes, but you might not be heading in any particular direction, and that can feel unsettling. This lack of purpose or routine isn't just about being bored. It can genuinely affect your mental well-being. Having a reason to get out of bed, having things to look forward to, having a sense of accomplishment, these are important for our self-esteem and our overall sense of contentment. When that's missing, it can lead to apathy, a lack of motivation, and even feelings of depression. You might find yourself sleeping more or feeling lethargic, simply because there's no compelling reason to do otherwise. It's not about recreating the rigid structure of a 9-to-5 job. Heavens, no. You've escaped that. But it is about creating a new kind of structure, one that you design, filled with things that you find meaningful and enjoyable. It's about finding your new why. Think about what truly interests you, what makes you feel alive, what you've always wanted to do but never had the time for. This is your chance. Perhaps you've always had a creative streak. Painting, writing, pottery, playing a musical instrument. Now's the time to explore it. Enroll in a class, join a group, or simply set aside time each day to practice. Maybe you're passionate about a particular cause. Volunteering can be an incredibly rewarding way to find purpose and make a difference. Whether it's helping out at a local charity shop, mentoring young people, supporting an animal shelter, or getting involved in environmental conservation, there are countless organizations that would value your time and experience. And the bonus? You'll meet new people and feel part of something bigger than yourself. Learning something new is another fantastic way to find purpose and keep your mind sharp. Always wanted to understand history better? Or learn how to use that complicated computer software? Or master the art of French cooking? There are online courses, local college classes, workshops. The world of learning is at your fingertips. And the sense of achievement when you master a new skill is brilliant. Even smaller, everyday routines can provide a sense of structure and purpose. Having a regular time to get up, making your bed, going for a morning walk, planning your meals, setting aside time for hobbies or social activities. These little things can help to anchor your day and give it shape. The key is to be proactive. Don't wait for purpose to find you. Go out and create it. Make a list of things you'd like to do, explore, or learn. Try different things. Some you might love, others you might not, and that's okay. It's all part of the journey of discovering what makes your retirement fulfilling. This isn't about filling every single minute of your day with frantic activity. It's about finding a balance between relaxing and engaging, between rest and purposeful action. It's about having something to look forward to, something that gives you a gentle nudge out of bed in the morning with a sense of anticipation rather than a feeling of another day, same as the last. Find your passions, cultivate your interests, and build a retirement rhythm that makes you feel engaged, valued, and alive. Don't just drift through these precious years. Navigate them with intention and joy. The I've earned this overindulgence. When treats become a troubling trend. Now, this one is a bit delicate because honestly, after a lifetime of hard work, You absolutely have earned the right to enjoy yourself, to indulge a bit, to say yes to things you might have said no to before because of work commitments or budget constraints. A nice meal out, a few extra biscuits with your tea, a glass of wine in the evening. Of course, life is for living, and enjoying the fruits of your labor is a huge part of what retirement is all about. The potential snag comes when a bit of indulgence starts to become a lot of indulgence, and when the mindset of "I've earned this" becomes a bit of a free pass to overdo it on a regular basis. It's not about being a killjoy. It's about finding that sweet spot where enjoyment doesn't tip over into something that could undermine your health and energy in the long run. Think about food and drink, for example. With more leisure time, more opportunities for socializing often revolve around meals or drinks. Lunch with friends, dinners out, a celebratory pint down the pub. These are wonderful, joyful occasions. But if every day starts to feel like a celebration, with richer foods, larger portions, and more frequent alcohol, it can start to take its toll. It's easy for those extra calories to creep up on you. That daily slice of cake, those couple of extra glasses of wine each night, they add up. And as we've already discussed, if this is happening alongside a more sedentary lifestyle, it's a double whammy for your waistline and your overall health. It can affect your energy levels, your sleep, your mood, and increase the risk of developing conditions like type 2 diabetes, heart problems, or high blood pressure. It's not just about food and drink either. The "I've earned this" mindset can sometimes extend to other areas. For instance, putting off those routine health checks. You might think, "I feel fine. I've worked hard all my life. I don't need to bother the doctor." But those regular checkups, blood pressure, cholesterol, dental appointments, eye tests, screenings, are even more important as we get older. They're not about looking for trouble. They're about spotting any potential issues early, when they're often much easier to manage or treat. Ignoring them isn't a reward. It's a risk. The same goes for listening to your body. If you've got a niggle, a persistent ache, or something just doesn't feel right, it's tempting to think, "Oh, it's just old age," or "I'll rest it off, I've earned a break." But your body is usually pretty good at telling you when something needs attention. Pushing through pain or ignoring symptoms isn't a sign of strength. It's often a way of letting small problems become bigger ones. So, how do we enjoy our well-deserved treats without letting them become a troubling trend? It's all about mindfulness and moderation. Yes, have that lovely meal out, but maybe balance it with simpler, healthier meals at home for the next few days. Enjoy that glass of wine, but be mindful of the recommended guidelines and perhaps have a few alcohol-free days during the week. Savor that slice of cake, but maybe not every single day. It's about making conscious choices rather than falling into autopilot. Before you reach for that second helping or pour another large one, just pause and ask yourself, do I really want this? Or am I just doing it out of habit? Or because I deserve it? Sometimes the answer will be a resounding yes, I do. And that's perfectly fine. But other times you might realize you're actually quite satisfied, or that a healthier alternative would make you feel better in the long run. And when it comes to your health, think of those checkups and listening to your body not as a chore, but as an investment in your future enjoyment. By taking care of the fundamentals, by addressing little issues before they become big ones, you're ensuring you have the energy and vitality to truly make the most of all the wonderful things retirement has to offer. So, absolutely, celebrate your achievements, enjoy your freedom, and treat yourself. You've earned it, but do it with a sense of balance and self-awareness, so that your indulgences enhance your life, rather than detract from your long-term health and happiness. It's about sustainable enjoyment, the kind that keeps you feeling good, active, and ready for whatever adventures lie ahead. The mental autopilot, letting your brain go on holiday, permanently. When you were working, your brain was likely getting a pretty good workout every day. Problem solving, learning new things, dealing with challenges, managing information, communicating with colleagues. All these activities kept your cognitive cogs turning. It was like a mental gym keeping your mind agile and sharp. Then retirement comes along, and the nature of your daily mental stimulation can change quite dramatically. If you're not careful, it's easy to slip into a more passive mode. Perhaps you spend more time watching telly or doing familiar, routine tasks that don't require much active thought. While relaxation is important, if your brain isn't being regularly challenged and engaged, it's a bit like a muscle that isn't being used. It can start to lose some of its tone. We often talk about keeping our bodies active in retirement, but keeping our minds active is just as crucial for our overall well-being. An engaged brain is a healthier brain. It helps maintain cognitive function, memory, and problem-solving skills. It can even play a role in staving off cognitive decline and keeping conditions like dementia at bay for longer. Plus, let's be honest, learning new things and feeling mentally sharp is just incredibly satisfying. The habit we're talking about here isn't about suddenly losing your intellect. It's more subtle. It's about falling into a routine where your brain is on autopilot a lot of the time, where you're consuming information passively rather than actively engaging with it, where you're sticking to the familiar and comfortable rather than stretching your mental muscles. Think about it. When was the last time you really learned something new? Something that made you think, "Ooh, that's interesting," or, I need to concentrate here? When did you last tackle a puzzle that really made you scratch your head? Or engage in a debate that made you consider a different point of view? If the answer is not for a while, then it might be time to consciously inject a bit more mental stimulation into your days. And the wonderful thing is, there are so many enjoyable ways to do this. It doesn't have to feel like hard work or going back to school, unless you want it to. Reading is a fantastic way to keep your mind active, especially if you vary your genres. Try a historical novel, a biography, a science book, or a thought-provoking current affairs magazine. Discussing what you've read with a friend or in a book club adds another layer of mental engagement. Puzzles and games are brilliant brain trainers. Crosswords, Sudoku, logic puzzles, jigsaws, they all challenge different parts of your brain. Board games and card games, especially those that involve strategy, are not only fun but also great for cognitive function, and they often come with a social bonus if you play with others. Learning a new skill is perhaps one of the most powerful ways to give your brain a workout. We've touched on this before in the context of finding purpose, but it's doubly important for mental agility. Consider learning a new language. It's a fantastic cognitive challenge. Or what about taking up a musical instrument? The coordination and concentration required are excellent for brain health. Photography, coding, creative writing, even learning how to use a new piece of technology. Anything that takes you out of your mental comfort zone is beneficial. Engaging in stimulating conversations and debates is another great way to keep your mind sharp. Join a discussion group, attend talks or lectures, or simply make a point of talking about more than just the weather with your friends and family. Exploring different viewpoints and articulating your own thoughts helps to keep those neural pathways firing. Even everyday activities can be made more mentally stimulating. Try a new recipe, take a different route on your walk, or try doing a familiar task with your non-dominant hand. These little changes can help to shake up your routine and wake up your brain. The key is to be curious, to be open to new experiences, and to actively seek out opportunities to learn and be challenged. Don't let your brain go on permanent holiday. Give it interesting things to do, problems to solve, and new information to process. Think of it as lifelong learning, not as a chore, but as an exciting adventure that keeps your mind vibrant, your outlook fresh, and your retirement years full of discovery. A nimble mind is a happy mind, and it's one of the best assets you can have for a truly fulfilling retirement. The path to a vibrant retirement, it's all about mindful choices. So there we have it. 5 habits that, if we're not careful, can subtly creep in and chip away at the vibrant, healthy retirement we all dream of. The comfort that becomes a cage of inactivity. The peace and quiet that morphs into isolating loneliness. The freedom that dissolves into a rudderless drift without purpose. The well-earned treats that become a troubling trend of overindulgence. And the mental relaxation that slides into a permanent autopilot for your brain. It might sound like a lot to watch out for, but please don't feel overwhelmed. This isn't about adding a whole new list of worries to your retirement. Far from it. It's about awareness. It's about understanding that these amazing years of freedom and opportunity also come with a new set of responsibilities. Primarily, the responsibility to ourselves, to our own well-being. The good news is that avoiding these pitfalls isn't about radical, life-altering overhauls. It's about small, conscious choices made consistently. It's about being a little more mindful each day. It's about choosing to go for that walk, even when the sofa looks incredibly inviting. It's about picking up the phone to a friend, even when it feels easier to stay in your own company. It's about exploring that new hobby or class, even if you feel a little apprehensive. It's about savoring that treat, but perhaps not having it every single day, and definitely not skipping that health check. It's about choosing to learn something new, to challenge your mind, even when flicking through the TV channels feels simpler. Your retirement is a precious gift. It's a vast, open landscape of possibility, and you are the architect of how you want to experience it. By being aware of these potential habits, you can navigate this landscape with greater wisdom, energy, and joy. Think of it like tending a garden. It requires a bit of regular attention, some weeding, getting rid of those unhelpful habits, some watering, nurturing the good ones, and some sunshine, filling your days with joy and connection. With a little bit of mindful effort, you can cultivate a retirement that is not just long, but also incredibly rich, healthy, and fulfilling. So, I encourage you, as you embark on or continue your retirement journey, to reflect on these points. Are any of these habits starting to take root in your life? If so, what small, positive change can you make today? Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Perhaps it's deciding to walk to the shops instead of drive. Perhaps it's looking up that local club you've been curious about. Perhaps it's downloading a language app or picking up a puzzle book. Perhaps it's planning a healthier meal or scheduling that overdue checkup. Every small step in a positive direction counts. And those steps, taken consistently, will lead you towards a retirement that is truly golden, full of health, happiness, purpose, and connection. You've worked hard for this time. Now, invest a little bit of that same diligence and care into making it the best it can possibly be. Your future self will thank you for it, I promise. Go on, make it brilliant.